Hello everyone, how are you doing? Today we will watch a brief retelling of the movie Transformers. The film begins with the story of Optimus Prime, the destruction of the Transformers' home planet of Cybertron, during the struggle between the Autobots and Decepticons for possession of the Great Spark, the source of all life on Cybertron. After the destruction of Cybertron, the Great Spark was lost in outer space. At the beginning of the 21st century, a detachment of Decepticons arrives on Earth, taking on the forms of earthly transport for camouflage purposes. Blackout and Scorponok attack an American military base in Qatar in order to gain access to the military database to locate Megatron and the Spark, but fail. The Decepticons make a second attempt. Frenzy infiltrates the US president's plane, cracks the secret code, connects to the computer database, and determines Megatron's location. He also discovers that the owner of the map, which contains the coordinates of the Spark, is the schoolboy Sam, the great-great-grandson of Captain Archibald, who once discovered Megatron in an ice cave beyond the Arctic Circle. Frenzy and Barricade start looking for Sam. Meanwhile, everyone in the US Department of Defense is very concerned about the incident in Qatar and is preparing to launch a retaliatory strike against the alleged enemy. Expert Maggie Madsen is the first to suggest the alien nature of the signal with which the secret access code was cracked. Since no one believes her, she secretly copies this signal onto a flash drive, and with the help of her hacker friend Glenn, she manages to decipher it. But at that moment, they are arrested by the FBI. An Autobot named Bumblebee, disguised as a Chevrolet Camaro, also appears on Earth. He tracks down Sam, who ends up buying Bumblebee, convinced that he bought an ordinary second-hand car. Bumblebee helps Sam attract the attention of Michaela Baines, his beautiful classmate. Sam is unaware that Bumblebee is an alien until he witnesses his transformation into a robot. Frightened, Sam tries to run away from the scary alien. But then the police arrive and arrest Sam for entering the plant without permission. When he is released, he sees his car return to its place on its own. Sam thought that a demon had possessed his car and was riding off on a bicycle. Bumblebee chases him. Michaela sees Sam scared and goes after him. When Sam arrived at the underground parking, he saw a police car and asked for help. But then the car turns into a terrible robot. This is the Decepticon Barricade. He chases Sam and demands that he give him his great-grandfather's glasses. Bumblebee has to transform and fight the Decepticon. After his victory, Bumblebee takes Sam and Michaela with him to meet the rest of the Autobots. The Autobots, Optimus Prime, Jazz, Ironhide, and Ratchet, land and take the forms of earthly machines. After the first meeting, Optimus explains to Sam the purpose for which the Autobots came to Earth, to find and destroy the Spark so that the Decepticons could not use it. Sam, Michaela, and the Autobots then head to Sam's house to pick up the glasses with the Spark's coordinates. Suddenly, representatives of Sector 7, a secret US government organization created specifically to study everything related to aliens, led by Agent Simmons, burst into the house. They take Sam and Michaela in for questioning. The Autobots free Sam and his girlfriend, but Simmons calls for reinforcements and his men manage to capture Bumblebee. Despite the protests of Sam, who assures that Bumblebee is on the side of Earthlings, they take the helpless Autobot to the Hoover Dam, near which the Spark was discovered at the beginning of the 20th century, and where Megatron was placed in a frozen state in 1935. Megatron is kept frozen by the energy of the dam. The Spark is stored not far from him. Both artifacts are actively researched and are the source of a number of breakthrough events in the scientific and technological progress of the 20th century on Earth. Meanwhile, the U.S. Secretary of Defense, having learned about the existence of Sector 7 and convinced that the culprits of the incident in Qatar are indeed aliens, decides to personally go to the Hoover Dam to sort things out on the spot, taking Maggie and Glenn with him. Sam and Michaela are also brought there. Agent Simmons demonstrates to the minister the power of the Spark, the radiation of which revives a mobile phone, turning it into a small but very militant robot. The Decepticon Frenzy, who had previously taken the form of a mobile phone, secretly sneaks along with people to the dam and calls the rest of the Decepticons there. Starscream destroys the power supply, the cryosystem fails, and Megatron begins to awaken from his centuries-long sleep. Seeing that things are going badly, Sam convinces the agents to let Bumblebee go so he can give the spark to Optimus Prime. Bumblebee shrinks the spark to such a size that a person can pick it up. After this, all the Autobots, taking Sam, Caleb, and Spark with them, leave, and the Decepticons pursue them to the neighboring city. In the city, the battle resumes with renewed vigor. Captain Lennox entrusts Sam with taking care of the spark. He must climb to the top of the skyscraper, and they hand the spark over to U.S. Air Force pilots, who will deliver it to a safe place where the Decepticons cannot reach. When the long-awaited plane finally approaches, a prearranged signal is given to it from the ground. But suddenly he begins to fire at the people and Autobots below, and then shoots down the helicopter that is supposed to take Spark away. It turns out that it is actually Starscream. Following him, other Decepticons appear. A battle begins in which both sides suffer serious losses. Starscream cripples Bumblebee, who hits Brawl with a well-aimed shot. Megatron tears Jazz apart with his own hands. Optimus Prime defeats Bone Crusher in a fight, and Lennox kills Blackout. Finally, Prime and Megatron duel. The outcome of their duel is decided by Sam, who destroys Megatron and the Spark by placing it in the chest of the Decepticon leader. The remains of the Decepticons were sunk to the bottom of the ocean, and the three survivors, Barricade, Starscream, and Scorponok, fled in an unknown direction. The Autobots decide to stay on Earth, and Optimus sends a signal into space for all the remaining Autobots to find them. This is how this film ends. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel, there will be many more new videos. See you.